And just talk. Say hey. You like it?
Bye bye.
All right, guys. So hopefully you can hear me. It's just the first episode of life. All right. We'll try our best to edit some of this stuff, man. Some of this stuff, man, we just gonna let it just roll like it is, because I want this thing to be very authentic. So that way you can relate, So the first thing I want to talk about today is gonna be fear, right? And I'm a little nervous, but I felt like I have to get this out, because it's something that God's been working on me in my life, in this moment, in this season of my life. And so I just wanted to encourage you guys, man. Like, fear. Let me pull up my phone. I ain't finna be winging it. I told y'all, man, look, if you go join this channel, you go get the authentic version of me. Some stuff will be planned out, some stuff may not be. All right. So I'm just gonna share it. Sorry, y'all. I know it's a little blimp, but I want to show you the definition of fear and why it is very, very important that you face your fear. Fear is an emotional and physiological response to a perceived threat. It evolved to help us survive by preparing the body and mind to respond to danger. So the first thing I hear is it says preparing the body and mind to respond to danger. Right? So a lot of times, for instance, myself creating this video, immediately my body responded as if it was doing something dangerous. And the reality of it is I'm not doing nothing dangerous. So I have to conquer my fears. Another thing it says fear has several dimensions. Biological, here go that word again, physiological, and behavioral. So I'm gonna go biological. I'm sorry. When you perceive danger, your brain, especially the amygdala, helps trigger the fight, flight, or freeze response. Your heart rate increase, breathing becomes faster, muscle tense, stress hormones like adrenaline are released. The behavior, fear influence what we do. It may cause us to avoid danger, I told you, prepare more carefully, seek help, or in some cases become paralyzed and unable to act. And so just hearing that, man, like just becoming paralyzed and unable to act, it puts you in a state of mind where a lot of people that have dreams and goals, you guys are kind of stagnant. And to the point to where you like, man, I can't do this. So leading up to this particular video, that was me. That was me saying, man, I can't do this. But as you can see, here I am facing my fears, releasing this video, letting you guys know, look, man, be encouraged. Have faith, believe in yourself. I just told somebody that, this morning. I said, man, I'm proud of you for believing in yourself. Because sometimes, man, fear can stop us and hinder us. Fear can make you procrastinate. Fear can make you doubt yourself. Fear can also stop you from doing things that God called you to do. And one of the things I shared with my buddy today, I said, man, you cannot have fear and faith. And you also can't have fear to allow you to not do what God called you to do. And another thing is you have a healthy fear and you have a fear that you need to stay away from. Healthy fear of myself is, man, don't jump out the airplane. I'm gonna take you guys on that little journey, man. Like, I never forget the time where my wife, she wanted to jump out of the airplane for her birthday. And it was so crazy. So we get to this place in Atlanta and we get registered. Well, she get registered. And so the gentleman, it's a whole bunch of closers in there. For all you people that know about sales, what closing mean. There's a whole bunch of closers in there. And they like, so you gonna let her go up by herself? In my mind, I'm like, yeah, I'm a designated driver. I drove her out here, and it was her and her cousin Ariel, and they had planned this to jump out, right? And they was like, oh yeah, we're gonna jump out. Like she's just super excited. She rich the biscuit. She loves doing that type of stuff. Well, with me, I never even been on the airplane at all, and so as the guy's talking, I'm like, bro, like yeah, I'm gonna let her jump. Like, okay. He said something that really hit me. He was like, man, so she go for one, she gonna have this experience and this memory, and you ain't gonna be a part of it. Another thing is, she gonna go back and tell her parents that she jumped without you. So I'm like, I thought about those two things. I'm like, man, nah, I can't let that happen. So I'm like, all right, bet. So then that's boom. That's when my pride kicked in. So then I ended up signing up. They got me. They closed me. So I signed up. Boom. So we ended up walking to the plane, man. That fear kicked in. As we walking, never been on the plane before. I'm just like, Lord, of course I'm gonna pray. I'm like, Lord, please help me, Lord. Please don't, I don't want to die. Please, direct the people that's driving the plane. Lord, please make sure we got enough fuel. Make sure everything just go, good. So we get on the plane. Bro, tell me why they sit me by the front door. So I'm like, man, this wasn't even my idea, and y'all go have me by the front door. So anyway, so we get up, we're going certain altitude, we're going up. That fear is like right there. And I'm saying all this, man, because I'm telling you, sometimes in life, I'm not telling you jump out of an airplane, but I'm telling you that you gotta face your fears. As the altitude go like this, and that adrenaline and the fear kick in. And next thing you know, I remember, never forget, man, the guy said, hey, um, he basically, like, you hear the whole entire plane, we get to a certain peak, and the whole entire plane just cut off. And so next thing you know, we go from going up to like a deep dive. So as we go into this deep dive, I'm sitting there like, what in the world is going on? Like, Lord, I know I ain't finna die like this. I know you got purpose in my life. I know what you promised me. Man, I know I ain't going out like this. So then I look at my wife. She was like excited. So I'm like, the gentleman in the front say, hey, something's wrong with the plane. The plane is broke. Something's wrong with the plane. So I'm saying, I'm like, Lord. So by this time, man, like fear is on just like what I told you, I read earlier. It makes your heart rate go up. So my heart rate shot up. I can only imagine what it was at the time. So we go into a deep dive, which means the gravity pull. So your body's just floating. So I'm floating up. And all I know, man, the gentleman turned the plane on. And he said, all right, guys, I'm just playing. So I'm like, oh, who plays in mid-air? My first time on an airplane. Really didn't want to do it. And this gentleman up here playing on my life. So I'm like, all right, cool. At this point, Lord, I'm up here. What else? So we go back up to a certain altitude. And so we get up there. And the gentleman was like, hey, so a lot of single jumps went first. And these are guys, I guess they plan on, or they have prepared to jump by themselves. So a lot of these guys had just jumped out the plane. So I get to the door. I never forget. This is true fear. And then a lot of people that's going to watch this, you probably did sky jumping. So you're going to know that first time, that first moment, what it feels like. Well, so I get up there and the first moment, they open the door. Well, the door's already open, but you get up there and it's like, you can see the entire world. And so as I look, I'm like, man, this can't be real. Heart beating, adrenaline flowing. It's like, man, I don't know what did I sign myself up. Sign myself up with. Sign myself up for whatever. Anyway, so the gentleman like, hey, and mind you, this guy's on my back. He's short. So he was like, hey, we'll go jump on 3. And so, like, as he continued to keep scooping me up, I'm making like these little small gestures trying to bag back. But you can't do that because it's like other people after you. So as I approach, continue to approach where I'm gonna get ready to jump, I end up looking down. He's like, squat down. You're heavy. This is that. I'm like, dude, you knew this at the beginning. You knew I was taller than you. Knew I'm heavier than you. Don't be talking about this stuff right here while we up in the air. So anyway, so then we get to the point where boom, it's real life. This is when you face your fears. So he said, 1, 2. So mind you, I'm thinking I'm waiting on 3, like he said. So we end up jumping on 2. As we jump, my arms like this. I began to faint a little bit in midair. So he tapped me, woke me up. Cause everything is so fast when you jump, when you do skydiving. Everything fast, it hit you fast. So as I jumped like this, I fell out a little bit and he woke me back up. So it's a point. And like I said, everything is fast as you're going down. But it was a point in that particular segment where I was able to just pause and take it in. So as you're flying like this, the gentleman, he had to adjust me because he said I was heavy. So once again, that created a little fear in me. And then I'm flying like this. And I began to look around. And at that moment, man, I began to see my fear that I had was left back in that plane. Because now I'm embracing what I see. Now I'm visualizing like, man, this is beautiful. So then, boom, that's when he pulled the little things where I guess the parachute come out. So now we're at the point where we're just floating. And that's when real reality kick in. Like, man, I just conquered my fear. And everything that I had, or, everything I was afraid of was left back up there. And you probably like, man, why are you telling us this story? It's like, man, because that's what happened when you do not create the business. You do not write the book. You do not, do something you said you're going to do. Fitness journey. Some people have small goals. Like, hey, man, I'm going to drink a gallon of water today. So I'm saying this because I just want to encourage you guys. Like, man, if fear is stopping you, go after it. Because if I never did that, I would never, for one, have the experience to say, hey, man, I was able to jump out of an airplane. My first time on an airplane. 3, delete my fears of sky jumping. Now, look, I'll never do it again, but still delete my fears of sky jumping. I have the pictures, I have the videos. I have that experience in that moment where I conquered my fear in that particular time. And it was something that I said I was going to do because I went up. And by the grace of God, I'm alive, but I came back down. And so I was able to experience the beauty of nature, looking at, the ground, as you begin to get closer and closer. I've seen the trees, man. You see everything that God has created for us. And you just feel the wind blowing. And then you can even see, as you continue to get closer, you can see the roads he created. You can see the birds flying. And so I just encourage you once again, man, just like I'm creating this video right here. I had to face my fears. For one, stop telling myself lies. Telling myself, man, for one, people may not listen. Or you ain't got nothing to say. I do have something to say. You have something to say. You have something to do. I have something to do. I have goals in life that I'm going to achieve. And that's another thing, man. You have to start telling yourself, encouraging yourself. Be encouraged. People might make fun of this, but you have to talk to yourself. And don't be weird about it, but encourage yourself. Encourage yourself in the Lord. In Him you will find assurance. In Him you will have assurance. And so in Him, He can help eliminate the fear. Like I told y'all, man, it's raw and uncut, man. I ain't got no script together, nothing like that. So just flow with me. Be encouraged. So I wrote this quote. This was back in April 30th, 2016. That's how far back it goes. And I put, people only fear what they don't understand. The key is that you got to gain understanding. Right? And I always try to share this with people, man. Like fear is the unknown. Fear is like, okay, I don't know. So if you don't know nothing, it's a defense mechanism we have in our human body where it's like, all right, if I don't know it, then I'm scared, or I don't want to go learn it. So what you have to do is you have to rewire your mind, slow down, process it, and say, man, if I don't know it, let me go learn it. Let me go conquer the fear. Let me go after, what I'm trying to do. So that way it's no longer fear. I have gained something from this particular experience. Whether it's wisdom, whether it's knowledge, it's so crazy because a lot of times we as human beings, it's like, man, I see fear. It's unknown. I'm not going after it. Versus we're going to rewrite that. I see fear. I get to know what I don't know. I learn it. I may fail. Let me put that in there. I may fail, but it's okay because failure is part of it. But one thing you never did was you didn't give up and you didn't go backwards. You went forward. So even if you failed, you live another day, you learn something, you gain something, you can go back out there and try again. So I leave you guys with this, man. Be encouraged. Conquer your fears. Delete the doubts out of your mind. Whatever you want to do in life, man. And remember, God has a purpose for you. Peace. Until next time. Life.